Hello to my Griffin artists. Today we are going to do a winter landscape that I'm very excited about, using some of the skills that we have learned since the beginning of the school year. And I thought it'd be really neat to incorporate a winter landscape in contrast with this amazing, this is a real photo. This was not made. This is not a piece of art that someone made. This is an actual real photo of the Northern Lights, also known as the Aurora Borealis, and the Southern Lights, Aurora Australis. And they appear when tiny particles stream out from the sun and hit the Earth's atmosphere. And the particles give some of their energy to atoms and molecules of gases in the upper atmosphere. But the atoms and the molecules cannot hold the energy. They quickly give it off as another kind of energy, the colors of light that we see called the aurora. These lights occur most often around the North Pole and the South Pole because the incoming particles have an electric charge. And as the particles arrive, Earth's magnetic fields guide them towards the poles. I mean, are you kidding me? How cool is that? I love this picture because here we have the contrast of this black, and then we have this really, really colorful night sky. And here's another photo that is more kind of like the one that we're going to be doing. Here you see these strips of color with these amazing stars and these black against the contrast of the black trees. So this is sort of what we're going to be doing. This is going to be our version. It's a wintry landscape with hills, footprints that are going to show us a perspective here of near, here, and far. Remember, we've talked about that before. Things that are here are large, near are medium, and far are going to be smaller. So our trees that we have on this hill, this snowy hill, are going to be large, and the ones that are further away are going to be smaller, and the same thing with our footprints. So here's one example, and here's another. And what I love about this is we have these northern lights, the aurora lights, on contrast with the snow on the ground, the white of the snow, and the black of the trees. So this, I think, is going to be a really neat project, and I think we're going to break it down in a way that's going to be very simple for you and very fun. All you need for this is a piece of paper, a black magic marker or a Sharpie, and a gray magic marker or a Sharpie. Now, if you don't have a black marker, you can use a black crayon, but a black marker would really be best. If you don't have a gray marker, that's fine. You could use a gray crayon. That would be absolutely fine. Probably the most important thing to have in the marker is the black, because what you're going to do is you're going to do our lines of the hills and the trees first, and then we're going to go right over them with the crayon. This would be really neat in a watercolor form, but since you're at home and you probably don't have those supplies, we're going to use what we have. For the background, you're going to want crayons. If you're in an absolute bind, I suppose you could use marker or some of the watercolor that we've sent home with you, but really crayons would be best. And you could pick out the colors that you want, inspired by the colors that you see in this picture. If you want to look more into this amazing natural phenomenon, look up the Northern Lights and you can Google image photos. So cool. Maybe one day you can go and see this in person. So neat. All right, let's get going. We're going to start with our black marker. Now, you can start actually with a pencil. That is probably the best thing for you to do. And then when you like your lines, go over them with the black marker. I'm going to do them with marker first and pray I don't make any mistakes. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that it's clearer for you, the viewer, on this video. I'm going to open this up so the background is Okay, so what I'm gonna do to create my white snow covered hills is I am going to take my paper, okay? And here's the top and here's the bottom. This is about midway. I'm gonna go a little bit further up than halfway up to the top. And I'm going to make a black curved line like the shape of a hill, so rounded, down to the other side of my paper. Now, you don't have to do this exactly like I'm doing. I'm just sort of giving you an idea. You could go a little bit higher up, however you want to do it. But my hill is going to go from one part of my page to the other. This is the snow-covered hill that, from my perspective, I'm probably standing on or closest to. Now I'm going to do the second hill. And what I did is I drew a curved line from one hill line to the other. And so now what I've done is I've created this kind of impression that this is the snowy hill that I'm standing on, and this is the one that's further back. Now I'm going to do my trees. These are going to be the largest trees because these are the ones that are closest to me. So I'm going to start by doing a nice tall tree. I think I'm going to do 2 trees and another here. And we did this with the 4th grade earlier in the year. We made these cool trees. I'm going to do a very simple kind of modern looking neat tree here. It's not going to be super detailed, but I'm going to take these, it's almost like a flattened U shape, and just go down my tree. And these are my branches, and they're bare because it's winter time. All the leaves are gone, and it just makes a cool little contrast. And I have just made those almost little flattened U shapes, and I make them small at the top, getting larger until they get all the way down. Okay, there's my 2 trees. You could do 3, you could do another one closer. I think I'm just gonna do 2. Then I'm gonna have some trees in the background, and those are gonna be much smaller. As you see, I'm making them much shorter because they're in the background. I think I'm even gonna do a little one over there. And now I'm gonna go in and do the same type of branches that I did on the trees that were closer, but obviously I'm doing them smaller in proportion with the tree. So now I see that I've got trees here and I've got trees over in the distance. Now we're going to do our moon. You can do a full moon or a crescent moon. It's up to you. I think I'm going to do a crescent moon for this. There we are. So now we have a bit of our landscape, and I'm gonna go in and I'm going to do the footprints in the snow. It's just a neat effect. It makes you think about who was walking there. Was I walking there? Was it an animal? Was it a person? What it also is showing us is that whatever it is, we can tell that as they're walking, they're getting further and further away. The reason why we know that is because these footprints are getting smaller and smaller. So it's a great way to show perspective and dimension in your picture. So I'm gonna start with my footprints down here, and the footprints are just little oval shapes, basically. And what I'm going to do is have those oval shapes come up to the peak of this hill. And as they're coming to the peak of the hill, they're getting smaller and smaller until what I'm thinking is that that I'm going and I'm walking all the way down, or whoever was walking walked all the way down the hill and then down the other side, and now they're going back up again. And so now those footprints are going to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller till they're actually just little tips of my marker. So you see that effect? Here I'm walking along, going down the hill, now I'm going up, and the footprints are sort of disappearing onto the horizon. Again, pause the video whenever you need to. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm going to do my beautiful colors, my vibrant colors, my real area of interest in this. Okay, I'm gonna put these over here just for sort of color inspiration. And I think the first color I'm gonna do, there's no rhyme or reason. You just pick the colors that you like. I think I might do sort of what they have here. I'll start off with like a yellowy green. Actually, they've got a green. Let's see. Okay. This isn't exactly green, but I'm going to start off at the point where my hills intersect. And all I'm going to do is just, and I can go right over that black marker with my crayon. Okay, I'm going right over it. And it doesn't need to be super, super straight. I don't think you want to make it wavy. I think you just kind of do your line across. And then from there, you layer on, almost like you're doing a rainbow, another color, just like it has here. Okay, that yellow. Now make sure that you're not bringing the color over onto your snowy hilltops here. We want to make sure that the white areas of our picture stay white. Now they have sort of like a pink. I'm going to come in with the pink and layer that on. And see, since I used a marker, I can just go right over it with the crayon. It doesn't smudge the marker or anything like that, which is pretty great. Red, and now I'm going to go in with darker pink, just right across. I think I'm going to do it very similar to my real life inspirational photo here. So again, you're just kind of going across. And you can make these sections of color as thick or as thin as you want. I think I kind of like it a little bit thicker just because you can kind of soak in the colors a little bit more. Too thin is gonna look like a pattern, as you see here, right? You've got these, some are thinner, some are thicker. They just, there isn't like a stripe, necessarily a clear across stripe pattern to it. So I think I'm gonna go in and do a little bit of this purple and go across here. I'm trying not to shake the camera too much. I feel badly that it's doing that. This table just shakes a little bit, so I apologize. And I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna be careful not to color in my moon, again, because I want that cool contrast of the white moon against this beautiful background. Okay, I think I'm gonna make this purple part a little bit thicker here. And you probably need more time, so please feel free to pause the video. I'm gonna go in with a few different shades. Another idea is you can overlap the colors a little bit, because as you can see in this, they do overlap a bit. Sort of reminds me of our color wheel and mixing our colors. And that is super easy to do. If this was a watercolor picture, it would be very easy for us to kind of overlap and bleed the colors into one another. From here, I'm going to take, what color is this? Oh yeah, this is like a darker blue. This is how I'm gonna do the rest of the picture. This darker blue. I'm sorry, I'm shaking it around. I hope I'm not making you like car sick. Okay, there we go. So there's my top. And now I'm gonna go in and probably blend these colors a little bit. That means just going over them. Here we are. I'm gonna take this color up a little bit into that other color. Just make it look a little bit more blended. Take that yellow and kind of bring it up into there and sort of down into the green. It kind of makes it a little bit more natural looking as opposed to just the lines just kind of fading into each other. And I don't know if you've noticed lately, but these sunsets that we're experiencing right now in winter are so gorgeous. And I just look outside and I see them and I just stop everything that I'm doing and I harass anyone that's home with me. I say, come outside right now, because it doesn't last forever. You have that sweet spot of time at sunset to admire the gorgeous, gorgeous sky. And my favorite is when it's like this, I call it cotton candy sky. It's pink and blue and it's striped and it is magnificent. And it just reminds me of how lucky we all are, how beautiful the world is, how good God is. It's so inspiring. So this project also reminds me of that too. So obviously we can't all jump on a plane and go and see the northern lights, but we can admire the beautiful night sky that's right outside of our houses almost every single night. They've just been so beautiful lately. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. I think it looks really, really neat. And I would like to display these in the hall for everybody to admire. And so if you would please put your name on your project and bring what you've completed back into school so that I can have them and display them for everybody to enjoy, and then I will return to you. So I hope you enjoyed this Northern Lights winter landscape. And, you know, if you were having any trouble, just pause it, rewind, go back. Again, it's great if you've got the crayons and the black markers. If you don't have it, don't stress about it. Just use what you have. And next week, we're going to be doing another fun project. We're going to be doing some winter projects, and we're going to be getting into some special Valentine's Day keepsake projects. All right, Griffins. Love you, love you, love you. See you soon.